Hey guys, good afternoon or good morning to you, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome into the webinar today, guys. Definitely excited to be with you all here today. For anybody who is new on the webinar, thank you for joining. Heather, welcome in. Mario, welcome in. Ole, welcome in. Unani, welcome in. You're new. Welcome in today. Definitely appreciate you being here. Guys, today is going to be an Ask Me Anything call. So for those of you who are new in these webinars, every week we meet and we talk about marketing strategies, advertising strategies, really in-depth stuff that you can use at your restaurant. And so if you don't have the link, or if you've lost it, if you don't have the link to all the prior recordings, I'm going to put that link down in the chat box below right now. And you can go ahead and click on that. And then that will give you access to all the prior recordings. And again, if you're new to these webinars here, I'd recommend looking at the ones with the asterisk by them first. There's 4 webinars with asterisks next to them. Those are the ones I would prioritize first. And all the other ones are really good too. But if you're going to start anywhere, start there. And so today is going to be an Ask Me Anything call where you can ask me any question you want. It's going to be, I'm here to help you with anything you're stuck on, any trainings that you're stuck on, any trainings that you need more help with, you need more insight on. Maybe you're running some ads and you're just not getting the results you wanted, or you want my help trying to optimize them. So yeah, today is Ask Me Anything. So this also does not have to be related to our trainings as well. A lot of our trainings are around marketing and advertising, but we do a lot of other work for our clients as well around just helping them with their operations and helping them reduce prime costs and just so many other things that go into the business. So today I'll be taking questions about anything. If I can't answer them on the call, I'll get with our team and I'll get back to you on the answer. But most likely I'll be able to answer almost everything here on the call here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I'm going to write down some questions, guys. Guys, any questions you have for me, please put them in the chat box below. Go in the chat box below and then put all the questions or any questions you have there. I'm going to write them down so everybody can see them. Okay, so take like the next 2 or 3, 5 minutes. Put any questions you have down in the chat box here, and I'm going to write these down as they come in. Okay, so take 5 minutes, take 2 minutes, put your questions in the chat box, and go from there. Okay, so I'm just going to write these in as they come. Heather, Peter, Luis, Thomas, Mario, Ole, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Jorge, Heather, what's up, guys? I'm going to try to get to everybody's questions here. I'm just writing these questions that are coming down here in the chat box here, guys. So again, I put the link down here to all the prior recordings. Got a bunch of stuff coming up, obviously. What are the best holidays here? I'm just writing all these down, so if I get duplicates, then can make sure I address them all at once. All righty, guys. Well, got a handful of questions here. Got a few more coming in, but I'm gonna start with these. So let's go on and break these down one by one here. The first question is, what platforms do you recommend to advertise on? So great question, George. Let me pull up our Wheel of Fortune so I can kind of show you this. George, I think you're newer to the webinars. So George, I would recommend go ahead and watch these webinars after our call, the ones with the asterisk here. You can watch all of them, obviously, but the ones with the asterisk, definitely recommend watching those. Okay. So go ahead and take a look at those because that's going to really explain a lot of the stuff in detail. Okay. But to start off, let me just show you what I mean. There are a lot of different ways you can market your restaurant. And hey, Daniel, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. So the question is, what platforms do you recommend to advertise on? So just a little bit of education about this. Don't worry too much about the platform, meaning you can get good results on Facebook, you can get good results on Instagram, you can get good results on Snapchat and on Twitter or X. You can also get good results on TikTok. What's going to be the most important is what happens with your systems, right? With your sales funnel, and what happens after the click, right? What happens when people click your ad? Then what happens? Okay, that's what we really want to focus on. So the reason I bring that up is all the platforms can work, but I would recommend starting with Meta. Okay, start with Meta. That's why on our Wheel of Fortune here, these are the biggest, just because we want to start there. Okay, so Meta ads, that's where I'd recommend starting. That's going to get you the best results, or the best results in most cases, because this is like a game of stepping stones, right? We don't want to bite off too much or more than we can chew right away. You don't have to master all platforms right away. Just do one. And the beautiful thing about these programs and these strategies is that once you hook them up and once you have them running, they can run for a long time in the background. And by a long time, I mean sometimes even up to 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. We've had some restaurants, and even for our company, we have some ad campaigns that we've been running for 18 months now. And for our company, our goal for our own ads is to schedule sales calls, free consultations, right? of course, for our restaurants is to get them customers. So you can run these ads for a long time. So the reason I say that is start with Meta. Once that's working, keep it going. And then you can move on to the next thing, right? So I'd recommend trying to follow this wheel of fortune clockwise, right? You want to do your trackable ads. You want to do your database growth. You know, I could even put this in the, I'll put it up here. I like that. I have a large file, but that's okay. Okay. Put that up here. So start with that. Okay. Start with that and then go in the clockwise direction. And all the things are in detail down here. Trainings super in depth, all hour-long trainings. So yeah, George, to answer your question, I would recommend starting with Meta. Okay, start with Meta. Yeah, you're very welcome. Hope that helps. Next question coming in here from Elizabeth. Elizabeth is asking, how often should we send marketing messages? I would recommend once per week. Once per week is when you want to send your marketing messages. Now, that is a general rule of thumb, right? That is a very general rule of thumb. You can send messages twice a month. You can send them once a month. It's less about the frequency. It's more about what do the messages say, right? Like, we want to make sure that you're focusing on sending people messages that they would like, because we don't want to annoy people. But what we do want to do is we want to communicate with them, and we want to communicate with them properly. And so the way that I like to communicate with people, or the way I like to have our restaurants communicate with people, is almost in a very personal, friendly way. So think about the text messages that you receive from your family members, or from your friends, or your wife, or your husband, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, right? And those are some of the messages that I find to be the most effective. These fancy marketing messages here are really good. Use those in some cases, but also just sending people an update. Like, if you have a new menu item, tell people. You know, if your restaurant has a new menu item, tell people. It's almost as simple as that. If you have thousands of people who signed up for your text list, they want to hear from you. They gave you their information, and you're doing them a disservice by not texting them, by not updating them with things you have going on. There's a restaurant here in Denver, and they have a new summer pasta. It's like dill and like corn prosciutto pasta or something. It's really good. They're one of our clients, and I'm on their text list. I got a text from them, actually. And the text said something really simple. It said, like, hey, Luke, we have this new summer pasta. It has dill and corn and whatever. We'd love to have you in so you can try it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, it feels like it's coming from a friend. And what do you know? I went in there and had it. It was great. I love dill, by the way. Random thought. So it's less about the frequency. It's more about the message. So go with what feels right, right? Go with what feels right. You don't have to send people one message a week, but I'd recommend using texting. Use texting between 1 time a month to 4 times a month. Like, that's a good frequency. 1 to 4. With emails, you can email once a day if you wanted to. You can email way more than you can text. But once a week is a good number. And same with Facebook Messenger. I would say 2 to 4 times per month with Facebook Messenger and Instagram DM. So again, that's a general rule. There's always exceptions to the rule, but that's what I would think about if I were you. Okay, perfect. Next question here, coming in from Mohammed. Mohammed, budget. Mohammed wants to ask about budget. Well, the budget is going to depend on your comfort level, right? Your financial situation. So it's gonna depend on you. The nice thing with budget, with ads, except on TikTok, TikTok makes you spend a minimum of $20 a day, so $600 a month, which is fine. But with Facebook and with Meta, there's no limit. You can spend $1 a day if you want. You can spend $10,000 a day if you want, right? But you want to look at your overall sales, right? So, for example, the US SBA, this is not us recommending this, but the US SBA, the Small Business Administration, recommends that your marketing budget should be about 7 to 8% of your gross sales. Now, most restaurants that I know are not spending 7 to 8% on marketing. And it's usually because they don't have a good way to know that it's working. They don't know how to make it profitable. So if your advertisements are not profitable, of course, you're not going to spend 8% of your overall sales, right? That'd be a lot. That'd be a lot of burning money and throwing money down the drain. But if it's working and you're making money from spending the money, if it's an investment, not really an expense, then the more you can spend, hypothetically, the more you can grow. So use this as a baseline, right? Use this as a baseline judgment. A lot of our clients will start with our program and they'll spend 2% of their overall gross sales. Once it works, they usually spend more. So that's the nice thing about this, is that it's really flexible, Mohammed. So yeah, I mean, you can start with as small as you want. You can start with $100 a month. You can go as large as you want. Okay, so hope that helps. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Next question here. The best way to collect info from guests. Well, you're probably getting info from guests at your point of sale, right? People might be joining your loyalty program or whatever, right? But the best way that I've found to collect information from guests is through QR codes. Now, not the QR code that you're thinking about, it's different. It's really important when you're setting up QR codes to make it frictionless and really easy for customers to fill out the form. Nobody likes filling out forms. It's boring, right? For your restaurant, if you have people filling out a form, that's really boring. So we actually have one of our webinars teaching how to do this around right here, actually. Generate repeat visits with QR codes. So this is how you can set up QR codes inside your restaurant to get people's contact information and then remarket to them from there. One of our restaurants in Houston, Texas, they've got hot chicken. They've got about 7 locations, or maybe 9 locations now. They collect about 1,000 contacts per week. 1,000 contacts per week. It's insane. Just with having QR codes. So you definitely want to put these in your restaurant in a high traffic, easy to scan area. right? If you put it off to the side, if you put it only in the bathroom, people are not going to scan it at the rates you want. So I would recommend having it on an A-frame sign, having it at the point of sale. The best place to have it, if you have a sit-down restaurant, would be to have your QR codes at the tables. Because people are sitting there, way more likely to scan. One thing too, make sure that your staff is pushing this. If you want to collect a lot of contact information at your restaurant, if you want to collect a lot of contact info at your restaurant, make sure your staff is telling people to do it. But also make it frictionless so a customer can just pull up their phone, boom, scan the code, opt in. Right? Super easy. So, yeah, it's a good question. But yeah, QR codes are great. Best holidays to use for promotions. I mean, any holiday is good, right? Any reason you have to communicate with your customers is good. I like Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving if you're in the US here, or Canada, right? Those types of holidays are really good for larger orders, right? Thanksgiving for catering, Christmas for catering, Black Friday for selling gift cards, Christmas selling gift cards, right? Those are some things you can do. And if you're having some difficulties coming up with some ideas, make sure to use your best friend, ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT can be your assistant. So I might ask ChatGPT, what are the best holidays to use for promotions for a restaurant? Or let's say I'm a sushi restaurant. Let's say I'm a burger restaurant, whatever, right? So here you go. Here's a couple ideas. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, New Year's Eve, Christmas, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, International Sushi Day, that's cool. National Seafood Month, that's cool. Seasonal theme events, yeah. Yeah, so if you're ever wanting some ideas from things, definitely recommend going on to ChatGPT. Next question is, what email program do you recommend? Text2. Great question. On our form here, on our document, we do have some messaging softwares we recommend. We have a partnership with SlickText. So if you're in the US or Canada, I'll put this link down here. This is for texting in the US or Canada. You can use that code for, I think it's 15% off. So if you don't have text message program yet, definitely recommend using SlickText. That's a good one. And for email, you can use really any email program. I like ActiveCampaign. I like MailChimp. There's a lot of good ones out there. And then ManyChat for Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger. Now, if you're not in the US or Canada, if you're in other countries, that's okay. For texting, I would recommend ClickSend. Okay, ClickSend. There's other good texting platforms out there too. Easy texting, simple texting. There's a lot of them. You can't really go wrong. Next question is, how effective are TikTok ads? Good question. Well, it depends how well you do them. And it depends on your market, depends on a lot of factors like your reputation. But I've seen very similar results on TikTok as I have on Meta. So if your restaurant is advertising on Meta, I've seen really similar results on TikTok. And so you can duplicate what you're doing already on Facebook and Instagram, do the same thing on TikTok. You might get similar results or even better, but it's worth a shot. TikTok is a very similar platform to Meta. it almost looks like they copied Meta's platform for the ads manager. So pretty easy to use. Definitely recommend with all this stuff, like just try it. You're never really going to know until you try it. But definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it. If you're having success on Meta, definitely go on TikTok as well. Hey, Javier, welcome in. I think you just joined. Maybe you've been here for a while. I'm not sure. How's it going? Next question here is best way to do more catering. Great question. We actually just covered that, I believe. Yeah, catering ads right here. A couple weeks ago, we covered catering ads and how to run ads to generate leads for catering. So I definitely recommend looking at that. I think we have another one as well somewhere. Yeah, for catering leads, I would take a look at this. Also for catering, you can use just like simple branding ads, like traffic ads like this right here. Meta has really great retargeting capabilities, search-based capabilities. Even if you don't do it, the algorithm already does it for you in some cases. In most cases, it does. For example, if someone in your area Googles catering, they Google the word catering, and you have an ad on Meta saying something about catering, even if you're not targeting any demographics, of course, you can't target keywords on Meta, but a lot of times this ad will show up for people because the algorithm knows that they typed that into Google before. It's pretty wild, but it is the case. So there's a couple ways you can do target catering, but check out the branding ads and then check out this catering ad right here. Okay. Let's see. Got that one done. A couple more questions coming in here. Okay. So yes, cost for texting. Texting costs depend on where you're located. So every country has different texting costs. Definitely want to be aware of this. In the US and Canada, texting is pretty cheap. In other countries like Australia or like the Middle East, GCC, texting can become pretty expensive. So try it out. Obviously, I'm under the opinion that communicating with people, or I should say not communicating with people, is the most expensive thing, right? But you can use other platforms like WhatsApp, email, and Facebook Messenger and Instagram DM to send people messages. And that's way less than texting, SMS, MMS. So if you're concerned about costs, think about that. Okay. I have a question coming in here from Roberto. What offers should he be running? Roberto, it depends, like for your restaurant, right? I'll just give you like a really simple explanation here. Keep it strong. Don't skimp on it. And keep it popular. Keep it simple. Okay. You want to run the best thing that's going to get ROI in the ads is going to be a tangible complimentary offer, right? The same thing the biggest brands in the world use. All right. Starbucks, for example, does this all the time. And Starbucks is viewed as a premium brand, right? So, for example, if you have a chicken wings restaurant, I would recommend running an offer that says 6 free wings with a purchase of $20 or more. If you have a pizza restaurant, you could do a buy one, get one pizza. If you have, let's say, just an American restaurant or a Mediterranean, whatever, you could run a free appetizer with any purchase. So you're always going to want to default to your most popular items because that's your best foot forward, right? That's your best first impression with people. Or a free appetizer. And you can structure these offers so that they make sense financially, right? Remember that you're not losing money on offers. If you do the math on it, cost of goods on an appetizer is what, maybe $2 or $3, right? It's not that much money. And so it's just a part of the mathematical equation of what it takes to acquire customers, to get customers, you're buying customers, right? So with this, don't worry about the cost of goods, but you can structure these in a way where that makes a ton of sense. For example, 6 free wings with a purchase of $20 or more. 4 free chicken tenders with a purchase of $15 or more, right? Something along those lines. Keep in mind, don't get caught up in the details too much. Just focus on bringing them back in because that's the way you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Repeat visits is where the money is. Okay. All right, guys, we've spent about 34 minutes together so far today. Some really good questions. If you guys have more questions, please let me know. Please let me know. Besides that, I think we've gone through a lot of good stuff today. I like to do the Ask Me Anything calls about once a month or so, just to make sure we are helping answer any questions you guys have. Javier is asking how to make a loyalty program. Javier, great question. There's a couple ways, there's a lot of ways you can go about this, right? I would recommend not creating one your own. I would recommend using a service for it. So like with Messenger and ManyChat, the stuff that we teach, it's kind of like a loyalty program in itself, right? Kind of. But not exactly. You can set up ManyChat to be really customized and like do loyalty programs based on points and spend and stuff like that. You can make it as robust as you want. But that's probably going to require a lot of time, energy, money to do that. So I would recommend not making a loyalty program, but just signing up for an existing loyalty program. And you can use the stuff that we teach kind of like a top of funnel. And then loyalty program is more middle funnel and bottom of funnel. So a lot of our clients use Toast. Some use 5 stars. There's a lot of good loyalty programs out there. So just depends. Javier, does that help? Hope that helps. Hope it helps at least lead you in the right direction. Javier is asking for loyalty. What is better, to give free stuff or a dollar discount? Javier, I default to free stuff, like free or like complimentary stuff. The reason why is kind of following that John Taffer approach. If you look up the John Taffer approach about the red napkin, he talks about marketing to 3 visits and giving people gifts to get them to get to 3 visits. So we want to think about this not like discounting, not like couponing. We want to think about this like gifting. Okay, we're gifting people things. And so a better gift is like a free appetizer, free dessert, stuff like that. You can do dollar discounts if you want. I don't love them. I don't think it works as well. It's less exciting. But in some cases you could try it, right? There's no harm in trying it. Nothing is really set in stone. People forget things pretty easily, so you can always experiment. It's pretty crazy. At your restaurant, you can experiment a lot. People are really forgetful these days. And so if you send a message out and it doesn't hit home and it doesn't work, that's okay. People forget. I think most business owners are caught up in the idea that they need to walk on eggshells or they need to do things perfectly all the time. And I actually would argue the complete opposite. Experiment, see what works. Inaction or not doing something is going to be the most costly thing. So kind of a tangent, but Javier, yeah, give it a try, see what works. Javier asked, do you need separate offers for loyalty members? Not the same as the ones we're promoting to our database. Javier, it doesn't, there's not really a right or wrong answer here, right? I'm curious to know what you were thinking. Let me know in the chat box, Javier, what you were thinking of doing, and I can give you my thoughts on it. But if you have offers that are working with ads, do it again. Like you could have the same offers. If you found offers that work, that's great. You found something that's working. And so I wouldn't change it too much. I would do the same offers because again, not everybody's going to remember that they have those. Not everyone signs up for those. So you can do both and have the same offers. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Hope that helps. Those are my thoughts on it. Alrighty, guys. Well, got about 40 minutes here. So that's going to conclude our webinar for today. Again, if you're new here, make sure you go ahead and look through all of these trainings here. Guys, just follow the Wheel of Fortune. It's a wheel of restaurant fortune. Follow that in the clockwise circle. All these trainings will get you there. So as always, guys, I appreciate you being here. I definitely, as I say every Wednesday, look forward to these calls. It's fun. I like hearing your guys' success, and you've all got great questions. You're very welcome. Yeah, guys, that's it for me. So thanks for spending about 41 minutes with me today. Until next time, we'll see you next week, okay? Cheers, guys.